Welcome to Convo Fango. Today we're switching things up a little bit. We are joined by the director and star of Beetlejuice the Musical, Alex Timbers and Elizabeth Teeter. Yay! Welcome, guys. Now do a singing introduction. Ready, go. Just kidding. That was amazing. Here for I will spare you guys my singing, so I'll just listen to yours. All right, so let's haunt this bitch. Let's do this. What are some of the challenges involved with not just adapting something from the screen to the stage, but something that, I mean, it has kind of a cult following. So you're adapting this like cult following kind of a classic movie and like transforming that to translate it to the stage. What is that like?
Well, I guess early on, so we started the adaptation process in 2010. So musicals take a long time. And I think one of the things that we were really interested in was how you create basically like a companion piece to the movie, not a souvenir booklet of it. So can we take those things those sort of moments you love, but do them in a ways that feel unfamiliar and surprising. And one of the big choices early on was making, Lydia in the movie is kind of like, I would say like a tertiary lead. She's not, it's really about the Maitlands. And so one of the things in the musical was like, let's put Lydia front and center and follow her journey.
I love that so much. Elizabeth, what was that like for you? Because also you're channeling Lydia, not channeling Winona. And I imagine the fact that we kind of shift the focus a little bit, particularly we have the Dead Mom song, which is kind of like we get this like deeper look at Lydia and there's more character development and we get more of the internal monologue aside from like my life is a dark room. So what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I've never joined something that was already so like loved and created. Like I was the new person in the cast. I'd seen the movie before and I'd seen the show before, but yeah, I think maybe subconsciously there's always sort of like channeling that like what was before of like Tim Burton and all that kind of style. But I think just in looking at the text and looking at the story and really like tuning into what the words are saying for me was really helpful, and instead of trying to emulate anyone specifically. And yeah, I think Dead Mom is interesting because it's like this huge song right out the gate that you get to learn so much about Lydia. And I love it because I think there are moments where you get to see a softer side to her, and the hope and maybe the love that she did have, and this gentleness that might not be in her outer appearance, or the sarcasm that she brings within the first couple of scenes. She's a bit harder and it takes a bit of time to like knock those walls down. But yeah, Dead Mom is for sure this introduction to her journey and what she wants to sort of accomplish throughout the whole show, which is, I guess, in one way, to reconnect with her mom, but I think also to reconnect with her dad.
As a performer, is that fun for you to get to have that duality to play with? You get to do like the she's actually quite sensitive and deep, but you get to do like the snarky kind of sarcastic, darker kind of stuff too in one role.
Yeah, I think it's like my favorite part of the role because I feel like I get to do everything with her a bit. I love the scenes with Delia. It's so much fun to, with Leslie Kritzer, of course, but it's so much fun to be able to play into the comedy and sarcasm that I haven't really gotten to do before. But she is a really sensitive person. I think that is something that might be overlooked are often in teens. Also, it's like, oh, they're so dramatic and they're so angry all the time, and that's not necessarily true. I think she's a very empathetic person, and I think you start to see that hopefully right away a bit, but especially with like the Maitland scene, it's like kind of these back-to-back scenes where you get to see the duality of her, and I think you start to see that she's kind of, or at least how I perceive her, she's kind of like just a bit of a nerd too. She's a weird girl who has like these quirky interests, and that's not bad. It's just like who she is. And yeah, and I think it's like a dream as an actor to get to play with all sides of a character, and also be on stage with like the funniest people in the world. So
I mean, I use nerd as like a complimentary term. Like if I say someone is a nerd, like I mean
yes.
it endearingly
Yeah.
because I myself am a nerd. That just to me means like you're passionate
Me
about
too,
something,
yeah.
right?
No, I think she's stranger than usual, but that's what people like about her. So,
Exactly. Like if you're not a nerd for something, then that's boring as shit. Cause I'm like, well, you're not
yeah,
passionate about anything at all. Like everyone's a nerd for something, right? Like,
yeah.
guys, we had a little bit of technical difficulties, a little bit of interference from the great beyond. But so we lost Alex. He's in the underworld waiting room, but we're back with Elizabeth. We're gonna wrap it up. I still feel like I want to throw in my like weird like outro that I recorded anyway. So a couple more questions for you. What's your favorite number in this? Is it the dead mom or is it something else?
It's surprisingly it's not Dead Mom. I love all of them, but I love Beautiful Sound. It's the top of Act 2. I think it's so fun to be on stage with almost the whole company doing this big sort of flashy number. I love Say My Name with Alex. If people are familiar with the show, it's when Beetlejuice and Lydia come together for the first time, and you have these two like characters who've been on their own journey like come together, and the energy is just like this because the whole song is them trying to one up each other and sort of test each other out, and so it's super fun. And Alex is just amazing to be on stage with. And then I love Singing Home. If anyone else knows, that's Lydia's sort of other solo song, and it's closer to the end of the show, and it kind of brings her whole journey together, and it's just like a beautiful song, and I feel like emotionally we get to see her like come through the other side, which I love.
Nice. Is there a horror movie that you would like to see turned into a musical? I don't know how big of a horror fan you are, but if there's a movie you would like to see adapted into a musical.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. I do really like horror movies and stuff. I get them all confused in my head. Like I haven't seen one any recently. I don't get scared too easily, so like I enjoy them. I know people like hate like get scared easily, but I find them to be very fun. I feel like everything's being adapted into musicals these days. There's so many. I mean, I'm thinking like another 80s, like Back to the Future is already being adapted.
Yes,
you know, like
I do want to see that. We've got Evil Dead, we've got Reanimator, the musical. So they're definitely making the move into like that. So I'm just wondering if there's one that you're like, I would love to see this one.
Yeah.
They're all of them. Do a montage of all of them.
I mean, I do love Tim Burton movies. Like I love Coraline. Like I love like Nightmare Before Christmas. Like all of that. I don't know if those would work as musicals, but those are some other sort of like in that genre of like wacky, weird,
Yeah, movies. I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas is a musical, kind of. I mean, if they were adapting it into a true musical, they'd add probably like 10 more songs, but it's like it works as a musical. If you just listen to the soundtrack, you kind of get Jack's journey,
Yes. I love that around Halloween time.
So you like to be scared. So you like horror movies that actually give you a scare.
Yeah, I like spooky. Okay. I don't know if I'm much of like a gory, like full out horror kind of stuff, but I've always loved like fall is one of my favorite seasons. I'm a Scorpio. I love we're excited for October at Beetlejuice because it's kind of like our Christmas. Like what I've heard from the past is our audiences are super fun and Halloween's like a big party. So I love it. I love when it starts to get a little like spooky out, and I love the spooky spirit.
I love it. All right. If you have not seen Incantation on Netflix, I watched that last week. I love horror, obviously. It's like my job and my passion, but it's rare that a movie actually scares me. Incantation scared the shit out of me. So if you want to actually be scared, I'm wondering if that will have the same effect on you.
It's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. Yeah. And it's very
scary. Out.
I didn't sleep very well for a couple of nights. So.
No. I won't watch it when I sleep, which is always.
Yes. So it's a good time, family fun. Make sure you check that one out. All right. Thank you so much for hopping back on with me. I was just like, we've been trying to make this happen. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now.
No problem.
Man. All right. So Beetlejuice is back at the Marquee Theater. It's also hitting the road this December. You guys are going on tour.
Yeah, they're going out with a tour. Yeah, it's very
Amazing.
exciting. So,
Okay, that's going to be in Los Angeles in July of 2023. So I'm hoping I can check it out for my birthday next year. I got to wait a whole ass year unless I come to New York and visit you guys, which maybe I don't know if I can wait a year.
yeah, come check us out at Marquee.
Okay, I might just go to New York because a year sounds just too fucking far away. All right, get your tickets at BeetlejuiceBroadway.com. It's showtime.